Hi, it's Golf Traveler with Denis Knight. This is my first attempt at a podcast, so we'll see how it goes. But I would really like to create an opportunity to interact with golfers throughout the United States, and those specifically in my area here in Southwest Missouri, and try to create some dialogue as to what are your favorite courses and what holes do you need to be prepared to attack and be aware of on certain courses. I often do a lot of traveling. Golf Traveler is kind of my logo, and one of the things I like to do is play courses for the first time. And it's completely different opportunity than playing the same course all the time. I have friends I play with that play some of the local municipals, and that's all they play. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not making a judgment. My point is that I find a certain amount of intrigue in playing a course I'm not aware of. Now, granted, you're going to make a lot more mistakes, and playing a course the second or third time, can provide you some quality insight in lowering your score. But, there's the element of surprise and trying to make decisions not based on, having prior knowledge of the course itself. As I've been doing these courses, I started videoing, hole by hole to really kind of get an idea of what the course looked like so that I could view it once I got home. And I realized how valuable it was to me, just being able to see each hole, where the tee boxes were, what the greens looked like, what the situation was. Was the greens above the tee box? Was there obstacles in the way? All the things that we try to take into account as a golfer when we're approaching a golf course. So in taking these videos, I realized that maybe there's an opportunity for others to see, and view these videos and hopefully gain some knowledge, before you make those mistakes, hopefully, or at least have some idea, what the course may look like, what the holes may look like, what the layout is, and so forth. Before you actually go there, and in some ways it might help you decide whether you want to go there or not. One of the things that I'm constantly doing is trying to find ways to affordably play golf every day. And, that's not the easiest thing to do. And so I'm often looking for deals and finding cards and different things that are provided by different entities out there. And so it provides me the opportunity to play golf courses that normally I wouldn't play. There's a card I get that's called the Four States card out of Joplin. I live here in Springfield, Missouri. Springfield's kind of in the southwest corner, if you will, of Missouri. And Joplin's even further in that corner. In fact, it's almost into Oklahoma. But they have a little card I buy over there, and it allows me to play a lot of the 9-hole municipals in and around Joplin and into Kansas and into Oklahoma also. So it's opened up an array of golf courses that I didn't know not only existed, but, were they affordable? Were they, worth the effort to play? And so I've made videos of a lot of these courses, and will continue to make videos of these courses in the future. And a lot of times you can get on them pretty inexpensively, and dependent on the community, some of the 9 holes are better than others, obviously. There's a place called Sarcoxy that's not too far from here, about an hour drive in the direction of Joplin. And it's a little 9-hole municipal there, Center Creek. And they take a great deal of pride in that course. And it's so much fun to play. The greens are very nice. And for a little tiny community, you wouldn't expect that. one of the things that I found visiting my friends in eastern Missouri, I used to teach. I was a teacher for 30 years, and one of my joys was teaching in eastern Missouri in a place called Lesterville, and I have a group of boys. Well, they're men now with families, but we play golf together, and there's a lot of 9-hole municipals out in that area. Salem, Missouri, it's beautiful country. It's right along the Current River there, and they've got just an exceptional 9-hole. Cuba, Missouri, up close to St. Louis, and Sullivan, and they've now developed some of the boys there locally have really worked on the Viburnum course, and it's very fun to play. In fact, I'm playing a tournament there this Saturday on July 26th of 2025, and so it opens up opportunities to play some of these 9-hole municipals that you may not think of, along with the bigger courses, obviously, that you play in the larger areas. And I can talk a little bit about some of those. In fact, I don't know if you can see this, but River Cut. River Cut is one of the top 18-hole municipals in the state of Missouri. And it's just down the road from me. It's about 5 miles from my house here in Springfield. And it's not very expensive. It runs roughly around 50-ish, mid-50s maybe with a cart. And for seniors, maybe a little less than that. I think I paid $49 as a senior, unless it's gone up in 2025. I've been there a couple of times, and I think that's what I paid. So River Cut is a great option if you're in Springfield. If you're not in Springfield or near Springfield, then you should make the effort to come play River Cut anyway, because it's just a fantastic course. Missouri is really lucky, just like I'm sure all states, but we're very fortunate to have some areas that have some really nice golf courses. One of them is Lake of the Ozarks. It's not far from here, but it's up towards St. Louis, and Lake of the Ozarks has some really, really nice courses. They've got the Oaks there at Margaritaville. That's a real nice resort. So if you're going to Lake of the Ozarks, the Oaks is an excellent golf course to play. A couple others I would recommend is it's right there by the outlet malls. It's called Bear Creek Valley. This is a real gem to play. Beautiful, beautiful course. And it's not very expensive either. If you get the Golf Now app, which I obviously have, and I can talk a little bit about that app later, but that app will get you on this course in that $50 range. And then there's one I played last time I was down there, and this is a Trent Jones course. That's called the Cove. And you better be ready. It's pretty challenging. I want to play it again. I wasn't quite ready for it the first time and didn't score as well as I'd like, but it's a quality course and well worth the effort. So there's 3 real nice courses in the Lake of the Ozarks area. And the Lake of the Ozarks area has many, many courses besides just these 3. So it would be a good idea to, if you're heading up that way, to check out some of those courses. But all along I-44, Rolla's got a really nice course. We played in the tournament in Rolla a couple of weeks ago at Oak Meadows. That's a really nice course also. So now if you're going to head down south from Springfield, one direction that you can go is towards northwestern Arkansas. And one of the nice courses there in a little place by Eureka Springs, which is really a cool place, is Holiday Island. Holiday Island provides a really, really nice 18-hole course nestled right in the Ozark Mountains. I mean, the scenery there is spectacular. The holes look out over of the mountain range, and it's a really pretty course to play. Now, obviously, we don't live very far from Branson. And one of the things you could say about Branson is there's a lot of things to do in Branson. People come to Branson for a lot of different reasons. A lot of great music, a lot of attractions. Silver Dollar City and so on. But one of the greatest attractions of the Branson area is golf. It just simply is. There's not only great resort courses, but this is where the Johnny Morris complex is. And it's just utter amazing to see all the courses that are there. And I can talk a little bit about some of those here in just a minute. But some of the area Branson courses that I would highly recommend, one of them is Holiday Hills. Now, Holiday Hills is not as expensive, but it is your typical 18-hole course. It's not super fancy as far as, all these little gee-whizzy kind of things that some of the resort courses try to offer. But it is they offer a tournament every Saturday, the third Saturday. I've played in 4, I believe, now. It is so much fun, especially over the winter. It's a really good course to go down and play in the winter. So I would highly recommend Holiday Hills. Another one I'd recommend that was a lot of fun was Ledgestone. It's a little more expensive. You got to catch it just right. I caught it on my golf now and got a reasonable rate, but really nice course, well taken care of. I definitely would play it if you're in Branson. That's Ledgestone. And then one of the cream of the crop there of the Branson courses is Branson Hills. This one's a little tough to get on without paying some money. But again, it was considered one of the greatest courses down in that area for quite a long time. Now Johnny Morris of Bass Pro Shops. They've built some tremendous golf courses down there. In fact, they had Tiger Woods a number of years come down and design their championship course, which is called Paynes Valley. It's about $500 to get on, so it's high. They got Buffalo Ridge and Ozarks National that run about $250. And then they've got these other courses that are. I played their 13-hole par 3 the other day, called Mountaintop. If you'll look up Mountaintop, you'll see my video. Really, it's like you're in heaven. It's just an amazing place. And Mountaintop's not too bad. You can get on it. I think it's about 95 for the 13 that you walk. Top of the Rock, I think runs about 90, and it's a 9-hole. It's a little more amusement-y. It's got some, built-in stuff that makes it look more, mountainy and all that. This area is known for its outdoors. And so it's going to sell that, in everything that it builds. Everything's a log cabin or whatever. And that's just part of the nature of the Ozark Mountains. It's a beautiful area. And so that course is a little bit like that. Now, Top of the Rock is just a little bit away from the complex that houses Payne Valley, Buffalo Ridge, Ozark National, Mountaintop. Now, they also built just recently and just opened it. I've not played it yet because it's pretty, you're not going to get on it for a while, maybe this fall. It's pretty booked up. It's called Cliffhangers, and they, from what I understand, have got some really cool holes on it. One of them, you're actually hitting out of a kind of a cave area. And the water, from what I understand, there's like a small wall of water that comes down. So I'm not real sure if you hit the water. But Cliffhangers is super popular right now. And it's just a 9-hole walk course. But again, when you come down here, if you're coming down to Branson, you've got many options. And here in Springfield, too. Like I told you, River Cut and Horton Smith are... Our local municipal is well worth playing. So you got a lot of different options when you come down this way. Now, if you're in the Joplin area, I've got a couple courses I'd really like to highly recommend. One of them's in Carl Junction, which is right by Joplin. And that's called Briarbrook. Now, Briarbrook is a real gem. It is not a super difficult course, but it's just fun. And the people are fantastic. Every time I go to Joplin, I come away thinking how great a community that is. The people there are kind and considerate. They go out of their way. When you get in Branson, you get some of them are a little, touristy, and they're just pushing. But a lot of them in Branson are the hospitality is something that's a priority for them also. But I tell you, this Briarbrook, I would recommend that. And another one there, and I know I never can pronounce this properly. Schiffendecker. I've only played this a couple of times, but I tell you, it was very inexpensive. This was probably, and everybody always makes these big declarations, but this may have been the most affordable as far as a high quality golf course. I want to say I paid $39.40, seriously, with card. And it is a really nice course. And so, and it may have been a senior rate, don't get me wrong. But whatever it is, it's going to be a bargain for you. It's well worth the trip, no doubt. Now, I know you don't know a lot about me, but I grew up in Galveston, Texas. And didn't start playing golf. Actually, I grew up in Galveston, moved to Missouri to go to college, and ended up meeting my wife and moved in with her when I was 19. She passed away in June of 23. So, but golf was one of those things that I never played. I coached baseball and umpired at the highest levels, but I just never played golf. And it wasn't really till I retired at 60 in 2018 that I even played at all. And then it was just, twice a month maybe, But once Joe passed, and I tried to find another way to, something purposeful for me, golf kind of fit the bill because she couldn't play golf. She had shoulder issues, and so she never really developed. I think she had the desire. It's just her body wouldn't allow her to, and so, so we didn't play golf together. And so it's one of those things I can do, and I don't have a lot of past, memories. So it's been a real good path for me. It's been a great opportunity for me to kind of, create a new path, for a better term. So, but putting that aside, I've really devoted myself to golf. I play. Oh my goodness, I play a lot. I typically play 5 to 6 days a week, or 4 to 6 days a week, anyhow. And so I'm always playing somewhere, and always videoing, and so that's why I wanted to create this channel and promote golfing in this area, and hopefully do some other things besides just show golf videos, because I've got friends that do great things. I got a really good buddy that built a golf course basically from the ground up. I mean, really had to do everything to make it a quality golf course, and would love to talk with him and let him share some of his ideas with some of those out there that think those kind of things are interesting. So there's a lot of good content that can be explored. Okay. Now, growing up in Texas, I still go down there, and of course I go down. I go down in February, maybe early March, and then I go again back in late September and October. And part of the reason I don't go down in between that is because it's South Texas, and so when I grew up down there in the 70s, it was hot, but it's about 10 times hotter and about 10 times more congested. So I only go down and play some golf and see my friends and come back home. But I love it when I'm down there. Don't get me wrong. Galveston's always been part of who I am. So, but on the way down, one of the cool places I play is it's in Claremore, Oklahoma. It's Heritage Hills, and it's again very inexpensive. but a fantastic little 18 hole. And it's right on I-44 as you're going, out of the state of Missouri towards Tulsa. And speaking of Tulsa, here's a cool course. It's called Canyons. It's got what they call the Black Goat Trail. And there's one hole that you hit and you literally don't see the green. It's down below you. So you hit out into empty space and hope you hit the green. So it's pretty cool. And another course that has a hole, it's very similar to that, in Ferris, Texas, just south of Dallas, is the old Brickyard. Ferris, Texas, or Ferris bricks used to be, an extremely desirable brick. And so this old Brickyard's been converted into a golf course. And so it's very unusual of a golf course. But if you're in Ferris, Texas, just about 20 miles south of Dallas on I-45. But yeah, I would highly recommend the old Brickyard. So last time I went down, I found this golf course that I really wanted to play, and it was well worth the money. And it's a replica of I think 4 or 5 different golf courses throughout the United States. Famous courses like there's 3 holes from Augusta and Oakmont. There's a few there. This is called the Tour 18. And Tour 18 they have one in Dallas. I've not played it. But this one was in Houston, actually just north of Houston. And it's expensive, but through my Golf Now app I got during the weekday in the morning, I got on there, and I think I paid $70 maybe. It wasn't bad. I mean, it's usually, $110, $120, something like that. So, but if you're in the Houston area, Conroe, I think it was in no. But it was a little north of Houston. So, but that's Tour 18. It was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. I think probably the best golf course I've ever played was a private course. And my friend that I grew up with, and I went to school in high school, Jack Brown, his family is well-to-do, and he is also, and, they're members of the country club there. And so, very expensive. Well, I think I pay $115, but my goodness, they treat you like you're a king, or a knight in my case. But that's called the Galveston Country Club. Oh my goodness. Being private, you're going to have a connection, so I don't know even why I'm telling you about it, but maybe just because it's my favorite course of all time. I played it twice, and I played it once pretty well, and the other time so-so. One time on 17, I hit off to the left, and I walked up there, and there's an alligator. There's one of the little ponds. Well, I don't know if you call them ponds, just, it's a bio. You may call it a kind of lagoony area, but, I grew up down there. It was in the bio. And so, there's no trees on this course. There's some palm trees and a whole lot of water and a whole lot of sand, But my goodness, it is just an absolutely beautiful golf course. And it's way out on West Island. There's another good course on Galveston Island called Moody Gardens. I've played it 2 or 3 times too. The thing about Galveston Island is it's always windy. So, you're not only playing a links course with a lot of sand and, things of that nature, but you're having to deal with the wind. So, that always makes it just that much more special. And I've got a friend down there named Johnny O'Valley, really good friend, and takes really good care of me when I come down. And he took me to a course first time I came down. We've played it a second time, and again, this course is not real expensive, but it is just absolutely exceptional. And it's called Eagle Point. And it's in the Baytown area. Actually, it's called, I don't have my glasses on, Mount Bellevue or something like that. It's kind of a French name, or a lot of things down there are French, But a lot of French influence down there, obviously. But it is just wow. Hole one there is just one. It's just a beautiful, beautiful course. So much fun to play, and so I like to play it when we go down there. And I'll be going back down in September, and I'll probably want to play it again. I mean, there's a few more down there. There's one in Wilderness in Lake Jackson down there. That's a real gem too, that I'd like to play again. But one of the reasons I want to do this podcast is I guarantee you there's somebody out there watching this that's got a really nice course they like, and I'd love for you to share that with me. And I know this isn't live now. I'm going to have to learn the live stream and how to create all that and do that. But I think this is going to be a good opportunity. I think there's a real niche there for people like you and me, people that want to know more about golf, really golf courses and different things like that. I mean, if you're anything like me, you have a difficult time watching a lot of videos because one guy says this and the next guy says that. And, I was a baseball coach for a number of years, and I remember trying to teach my high school kids certain things, and I really realized that the key a lot of times to getting knowledge across is simplifying it. If you can kind of make it it's simple and have them something they can, kind of focus on or register or gauge, then you can evaluate whether whatever you're doing or trying to adjust is having value for you. And so I think it's important for us all to share those ideas, because I'm not going to sit here and watch a bunch of videos made by guys that, and I know that's good stuff, but I think it's better if it was you and me talking about golf, you telling me what's working for you and me sharing some of the things that I think have worked for me. And some of the quality golf courses and some of those holes to watch out for. And upcoming tournaments. I've learned, this is another thing, I have learned that playing golf tournaments is just absolute pure joy. For one thing, you got somebody to help you. And the other thing is you might win some money. And the thing is the other people are just like you out there having fun. So the camaraderie is just exceptional. And here's the thing with tournaments that some of you may not know. I didn't really know this. They make these things called flights, groups, basically. Now, these groupings can be, 5, 6 teams. They could be 10, 12 teams, maybe even more, depending on the size of the field. But what it allows you to do is create different groups so that money can be won by people that are not exceptionally good golfers. Now, let me give you an example, okay? Let's say championship flight, the championship team wins with a 65, okay? And the third place had a 67. Well, what if I shot a 69? I wouldn't get in the money. But B flight, first place might be 69 or 68, and 69 might be second. Okay? What if I shot a 72? Man, 65 won the whole thing. I'm, 8 strokes away or 9 strokes, 10 strokes away maybe. I don't have a chance. Well, C flight, you might. Okay? And so a lot of times in tournaments, you don't have to go in there and be a, semi-pro. In fact, you don't even have to be all that great. You got teammates to help you. And every once in a while you make a great shot and they'll be happy for you. And you'll feel like you're contributing. And then the more you play, then maybe you'll be the one doing the most contributing and helping your friends along the way. But it's a great way to share a fun time. And I encourage all of you out there to play more tournaments. They sound expensive, but really, you're paying $80, $90. You might win some of it back, We played a tournament a couple weeks ago. I think we paid 110 and we got $100 back. So, of course that's played one Saturday and, cut off for third place of championship was 66. First place for B flight was 68 and we had a 67. So sometimes you don't get it, but sometimes you do. And it's all about the fun. They feed you, typically these tournaments do. And so you get to meet different people and share, common interests because they're out there playing golf just like you, And then that way you don't feel so hesitant to play because nobody's perfect. And nobody's, if we were, we'd be on the tour or whatever, We're just out there to have a good time. So, well, I've probably taken enough of your time. I'd love you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Golf Traveler with Denis Knight. Just all, at Golf Traveler with Denis Knight. And my name's French. I was born in Montreal, but I lived all my life in the States. I just happened to be working up there. But my name is spelled Denis, just like Dennis, but with one N. And of course, Knight is Knight. So, if you would just go in and at Golf Traveler with Denis Knight, you should get onto my homepage, and then that should direct you to this podcast and my videos. I have about 45 right now of courses in this area, and I'm going to continue to add to those. So, again, I'd love for you to become a member. I'm going to set up a live feed podcast, and I'll get that announcement out there as to when that's going to take place. That way, if you want to participate, you can. More than likely, it'll be on Sunday evenings because that's kind of a downtime for a lot of people. But I have not made that decision as of yet. It may be another day. But again, stay tuned and I'll let you know. Okay, Golf Traveler signing out.